Kendrick goes to Australia, he's going to go to the corporate events. He's going to be on some industry stuff. People are going to see him. It's like, oh yeah, Kendrick was here. But it's different when you go into an event that only you and your homies know about and Drake pull up. Before we start today's video, let me just say thank you for 200 subs. We're on the way to 500, baby. If you guys watched a lot of my old videos, I was doing a lot of vlogging, basketball highlights. Now I'm starting to pivot to do more face-to-face content like this. So if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. We got another classic for you coming up. So I'm seeing a lot of misconception around Drake's Australia trip. I made a video yesterday talking about Drake and how he does these strategic international moves. If you guys want to go watch that, the link is down below. The feedback that I'm getting from that video is that people are perceiving Drake's Australia trip as like some kind of like tactic that's like a failed mission or something like that. Let me just break it down for you. Y'all know I'm trip overseas. I'm everywhere. I was just in Australia for the last 4 months. If you don't believe me, look at the videos that I'm showing on the screen right now. My girlfriend is from Australia. She is still there. I left Australia right before Drake came into town. So now I'm back in New York, but she is still over there. So while this whole Drake Australia trip was going on, I was getting the inside scoop. Drake's trip was a success. It still is. He still has more dates to do in Sydney. He did Perth. He did Melbourne. When he first started this tour, right, it was supposed to be just something that, you know, I'm going to come to Australia. I think he like announced 4 dates. And the thing about Australia is they're not used to getting like the mega stars, right? They just had the AFL. All my Australians will know what I'm talking about now. Everybody else might be a little confused, but just bear with me. The AFL is the biggest sport in Australia. Australian footy is what it's called. They just did a Super Bowl, their version of the Super Bowl, where Katy Perry came in and got $3 million for a show. And she did the halftime. The country almost like stopped moving. Not because of how she performed. I mean, she did okay. But more so because somebody that big that can command a $3 million check to perform, you don't see that much in Australia, is what I'm trying to say. So now here comes Drake, right? Mr. International. We talked about it before. I mentioned it in the last video. He's got the tour. He announces a minimal amount of dates. They go like this. The reason why, I'm not sure about the social media coverage behind the tour dates, but the reason why a lot of these dates, these venues might have looked, if they might have had a perception of not being fully booked, is because he kept on adding more dates. I was just in Melbourne for 4 months, as I mentioned before. When he did his Melbourne dates, he was only supposed to do 2 shows. Because people were selling out so fast and there was so much demand, he extended it to another, I think he ended up doing like 5 dates. And when he's in Melbourne, he's not just performing. Like, that's one thing I can say about Drake. A lot of American guys, not just artists, a lot of American guys, because a lot of basketball players and football players, all this stuff, when they come overseas, they have this bravado, right? I'm the man. Y'all all worship me. Y'all need to put me on the pedestal. I'm not doing nothing. Y'all all come to me. That stuff don't work overseas. Overseas, they don't have the same worship culture over celebrities. So, so when you go overseas, the smart guys lock in with the people that got their finger on the pulse of what moves the culture in whatever country they're going to. So when Drake goes to the UK, he's linking with dudes that really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? There's things that companies think is culture, and then there's actually culture. Drake in Melbourne was actually doing things that's culturally relevant, things that move the needle, things that people actually feel, going to venues, going to tournaments. He didn't go to the NBL game. NBL is like their version of the NBA. He didn't go to the NBL game. He went to the game that's like the Rucker. He went to the game that's a street ball game, like a real staple in what Melbourne basketball culture is all about. So when he was in Australia, bro, he was out there he smashed it. He smashed it. Doing small venues. You guys seen the videos. He's doing these small venues of like intimate type shows where it's just him, a microphone, his homie, and like 30 people. My girl was telling me she had friends that's going to these events. She signed to a modeling agency. A lot of the girls from her agency were in these events, in these corners, doing it like they doing the thing. Now, could my girl go to these shows, these after parties and intimate settings? No. Nah, she ain't going. Does that make me insecure? No. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? The strength of the relationship is strong enough, but why would I put you in position to where you getting hit on by 6 dudes? You know what I'm saying? So we know what's going on at these types of shows, but still, the bigger picture is he's putting on cultural events. He's connecting with people. Again, like I said in the previous video, what he specializes in is that he goes internationally and connects with the right group of people. Big companies, corporations, record labels, sports agencies. When they go overseas, big agency wants to work with another big agency. Being Americans, we know. The big agency got the corny idea. How many times have we seen that? Foot Locker doesn't throw cultural events. The NBA doesn't throw cultural events. It's a spectacle. They're good. It's good for entertainment, but they're not cultural events. They don't move the needle culturally. When guys come overseas, they go to partner with big corporations, and it has no effect. I say this all the time. I see NBA players go to the UK, right? They go to the UK, and nobody knows they're there, because they go onto these large corporation events, hanging out with other business owners and execs. They're not doing anything that's culturally relevant. So Drake's Australia tour was a success. He's still doing sold out dates in Australia's biggest venues. And on his off time, he's hanging out with the right group of people. He's moving the needle. Everybody in Australia feels like Drake coming to their city was a moment in time. Take Kendrick, for example. If Kendrick goes to Australia, he's going to go to the corporate events. He's going to be on some industry stuff. People are going to see him and it's like, oh, yeah, Kendrick was here. But it's different when you go into an event that only you and your homies know about and Drake pull up. That's different. That hits different. So that's what he was doing in Australia. On top of selling out every venue that he was at, there was a win-win. You think the Australians aren't streaming SSS for you? You think they're not going to his back catalog and all those numbers are gonna spike as long as they report it? As long as they report it, it's gonna spike because he connected in the right way. And then what's next? Now he's going to the UK. I said this in the last video. K-Dot. He's dominating LA. He's starting to take over on the East Coast. He's starting to take over in the South. Drake did that already, and now he's taking over countries. Like, if you look at the size, right? Look at the size of the country. The UK is not bigger than Texas. It's a whole different demographic of people. I'll take the UK. You take Texas. It's a territory thing now. So now he's going to the UK and he's doing wireless. You guys, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. All my UK people, get in the comments right now and tell everybody what wireless means. Because I didn't know what it meant until I went there and I talked to my cousin that lives there. She's like, yo, wireless, that's like our summer jam. Everybody from New York, everybody from the US, y'all know summer jam. Wireless is their summer jam. And now Drake is doing 3 back-to-back nights. That's never been done before. That's different level shit. That's never been done. And that's culturally relevant. Look, man, that's my 2 cents for today. If you guys agree with me, I tried to paint it as best as I could for you. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, hit the comments, leave a comment. If you like what I said, like the video. And if you subscribe to me, I subscribe to you. Peace.